Hey there everybody, my name is Melanie and welcome to this video today where I'm going to share with you my honest opinion, what it has been like starting CrossFit as a 40-year-old woman. So I am officially 1 year into my journey of doing CrossFit classes. I wanted to make this video because honestly, a year ago, when my husband and I were getting started, I was looking for this video on YouTube and I couldn't find it. I could find a lot of videos with people who looked like they were already super fit and exercised a lot and didn't look what I would call normal. But I couldn't find anybody that just looked like a normal middle-aged person who was starting this kind of crazy workout, because it is kind of crazy. And I am just a completely normal 40-year-old woman. That's why I wanted to share this with you guys today. And I know if you are a subscriber and you're a regular viewer of mine, this is completely off topic, but I hope that even for you guys that you'll stick around, because one, I just like to share a little bit more of my life with you, and two, you may find yourself learning something or motivated to try something that you didn't think you'd want to try. I want to share a little bit more about myself before we dive in. I am a mom. I've been married to my husband for 18 years. I'm not super fit and active, and I was not when I started CrossFit a year ago. So in my late 20s and my early 30s, I did run for a while. Prior to trying CrossFit, that's really the only thing I've ever consistently done. Probably been 8 years since I've done any sort of real consistent running. Outside of that, like when we started this a year ago, I wasn't really exercising at all. So I also want to let you guys know, I have a prior injury. 5 years ago, I had a disc replaced in my neck. And so I actually have a piece of titanium here. That was a major surgery. I've lived with just tension and stiffness in my neck and in my upper back ever since. That was a real concern for me starting CrossFit. I didn't start super fit and I didn't start with a completely perfect body that has no issues. Like I had definitely had this issue that I've had to deal with. So I want to share that with you up front, just because I don't want you to kind of write it off, you know. You may have something else going on that precludes you from trying CrossFit. That's certainly likely. But again, just trying to be honest with you guys about where I was when I started. What is CrossFit? Now, there's a gajillion videos out there that are going to give you the really technical explanation of that. Again, this video is made for just normal people. And so I'm going to tell you my normal people answer for what CrossFit. CrossFit is a mix of weightlifting and cardio work, with a little bit of stuff that they call gymnastics, which is basically swinging around on a bar. It is a class where everybody at the class does the same thing. So you don't go and pick what you do. You show up and there is a workout there for you, and everybody there does that exact same workout. I would say that there's probably maybe 15 to 20, maybe 25 kind of things that we do in CrossFit, and your coach will put together what's called the WOD, or the workout of the day. And they've taken 4, 5, 3, some number of those kind of general things that we do, put them together in some order with some repetition scheme, and you show up and it's like, that's what we're doing today. Yes, there is a lot of weightlifting in CrossFit, a lot of working with both dumbbells and with a weighted bar. And so don't let that intimidate you. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later, but that is a very, very significant part of what's going on. And yes, there is a lot of cardio work as well, but I'm going to say it's not cardio work necessarily like you're used to. It's a little bit different. The deal with CrossFit is that it is designed to help you improve your overall fitness level. Not just your cardio fitness, not just your strength, not just your flexibility, but kind of everything all together. One of the benefits, if you don't know what you need to do to get healthy, you just show up and you do what's on the board. And if you consistently do that over a period of time, you're going to find, in general, your whole body is going to get better. You're going to get more flexible. You're going to get stronger. You're going to have a better heart rate. Your cardio is going to get better. And you're not having to figure out what you're doing. You just show up and do it. Okay, so if you are a complete newcomer to CrossFit, if you've never been in there, I want to share with you a little bit about what to expect that first time that you go in the gym. Now for us, we had a little intro class with the coach, 2 1-hour sessions, just me and my husband. Nobody else is in the gym, and that's where he showed us the basics of a lot of the stuff we were going to do, because I would say a good 80% of the things that we do in the workout were not things that I'd ever done before. Jumping on boxes, these various weightlifting moves, swinging from these bars and trying to do pull-ups, stuff that I've never done. There's usually some sort of intro class that you can go through. But then when you show up on your first day, it's gonna feel a little bit overwhelming. A CrossFit gym doesn't look like a regular gym. It is very sparse. It is incredibly masculine feeling. It's kind of smelly, usually. There's kind of stuff just strewn all over the place. I mean, there's some organization to it, but it's not fancy. It's not tailored to look aesthetically pleasing. Like, it's tailored to exercise and sweat in. So it's gonna look very different. A lot of them have kind of like a warehouse feel to them with big overhead garage doors. There's generally not air conditioning in the summer. So if you're going in the summer and you pick a middle of the day class, no, you're gonna sweat like crazy. You're gonna see a lot of weights. You're gonna see a lot of barbells, and you're gonna see rowing machines and these crazy looking bikes. There's probably not treadmills, ellipticals. There's no TVs for you to watch while you're working out. It's gonna be very different than what you may be used to walking into a gym. All right, so like I said earlier, when you go to a class, like there's a workout of the day. And so it's programmed, and we have a little app on our phone. We can look and see what that workout is. And you can kind of pick, usually there's a range of times. And so we usually go at 11:30. There's a class at 11:30, right smack in the middle of the day. You show up, your coach runs you through a warm-up, he explains the workout to you, and then everybody that's there does that same thing. Now, if you can't do the weight that's suggested, then you do less weight. Or if there's a move that you just really can't do yet, then there's other options for what you can do. Another thing that I want to give you a fair warning about is that it's generally very loud, and it has a really kind of chaotic feel. When the workout starts, music usually gets turned up really loud, so you can't kind of hear everybody huffing and puffing. And then everybody's starting their stuff, and like if there's a workout where we're doing weightlifting with the bar, people are dropping these bars on the ground, and it's clang, 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 like you're hearing all of this loud stuff. And at first it can feel really jarring. So for the first couple weeks of me going, I would find myself kind of mentally worn out when I got done from the loudness of it all. I can tell you now that I've been going for a while, I don't really pay attention to it. I don't really hear it anymore. So, okay, some tips for a newbie to CrossFit, especially someone who is in your middle age like I am. You haven't been exercising before. You aren't coming from a place where you're super fit. How can you make this work? So my first tip that I want to give you is make sure that you find a gym with a coach that you really appreciate and that you feel really comfortable with. So CrossFit gyms have coaches. They are licensed and trained. They're very knowledgeable. They design the workouts and they teach you how to do them properly. They lead the workouts and they watch you while you're doing them. And if you're doing something wrong, they will come over and stop you and tell you how to do it right so you don't injure yourself. The guy that is the main coach at our gym and the owner at our gym is actually also my age. He's in his early 40s. And so that right away helped me feel more comfortable because granted, like he's super fit. He's been doing this for 10 years. But he understands what it's like to be exercising as a little bit of an older person. He's not some 25-year-old guy trying to tell me as a 40-year-old woman, what to do. He understood my hesitations. He understood where I was at just with my health and my strength level. He was completely cool about letting me start where I needed to start. He answered all of my questions over and over again as I would ask them. You're going to have a lot of questions. And so find a coach that you're really comfortable with and that isn't going to make you feel, I don't know how to say this. They're not going to make you feel dumb or they're not going to make you feel weak. You know, y'all know what I'm talking about. Like sometimes you just get around these younger people who everything in their body's just still completely working right. And, you know, you're trying to explain to them that like your knees are hurting and they're just like, well, just push through it. And you're like, dude, but like my knees are really hurting, right? So Nothing against you 20 and 30-year-olds out there, but it makes a difference when you're talking to someone, when you're trying something and you're having a hard time, and you're talking to someone who you feel like they get you and they get where you're at and they understand that. So if you've tried a CrossFit gym before and you didn't have that feeling with the coach, try another gym. It could not be CrossFit itself. It could be the person who was leading you. You need to be really, really comfortable with them and really trust them. My second tip for you, if you're completely new and you're starting at middle age, is to be okay with the fact that you're probably not going to be very good at it when you start. I'm 1 year in, and there are still moves that I really can't do. There's this thing called a toes to bar. I can't do it. You hang from the bar and you flip your feet up and you get your toes. I can't do it. I have to hang there and I just have to raise my legs and do toe raises. There were several of the weightlifting things that, you know, you use a weighted bar. I couldn't use a weighted bar when we started. I had to use dumbbells. And then for a while, I had to use just an empty bar because I couldn't, the weight that was suggested, like there was no way that I could do it. There's these things called handstand push-ups, which is crazy. I haven't done a handstand in 20 plus years, and I'm probably not going to start right now. So I don't do handstand push-ups. I do something else that he gives me to do. First, like I was really self-conscious about anything that I couldn't do. I was self-conscious and I felt embarrassed, and it was humbling. Like it was really humbling to kind of be walking into this situation and feeling like I couldn't keep up with people. It takes a while. It's going to take you a while, and just be okay with that. And also know that nobody is looking at you and thinking that you're dumb, or thinking that you're weak, or thinking that you're fat, or thinking that you're lazy. Nobody's thinking that. One, they're all exercising too hard to pay attention to what you're doing. And two, it's an incredibly supportive environment. And all of those people who are there at some point were where you are. You know, I like being good at things. I'll be honest. I don't like being bad at things. And so it was a humbling experience for me, but it's been good for me. It's been good for me to be okay with, you know, that I'm not great at everything and that I can take some time to learn and grow. Okay, a third tip for you beginners is that realize you're gonna be really, really sore for a while, and you're gonna be really exhausted for a while. These workouts are exhausting. They're by far the hardest workouts that we've ever done. So one day we did 300 lunges. Yes, 300 lunges. That sounds crazy, right? It is kind of crazy. I was so sore walking for the next 2 or 3 days after that. And later on that day, I was exhausted. So when you're putting your body through that at first, like, it's kind of jarring. You're gonna have to push through that. Your body is gonna react at first, and you're gonna be like, whoa, I'm hurting and I'm sore. Of course, know the difference between just muscle soreness and injury. You don't wanna be injured. All of that was just tired and muscle sore. But it takes a little while for your body to adjust. And eventually it does adjust. It's gonna be really, really hard at the start. And that's okay. I promise you, a couple months into it, your body will adjust, you'll get a little bit more used to it, and some of that will even out. Okay, so it's been a year since I started CrossFit. What has happened? What have I gained as a result from it? So the first thing that I want to tell you guys about is that I've gained a lot of confidence. When I first started, there really was a lot that I couldn't do. And again, the exercises were really hard. The workouts were really hard. And consistently, I would think like, gosh, I just can't do this. There's no way I can do 300 lunges in one day, right? Like that's an example of something that I just never thought that I could do. And so every time that I've finished a CrossFit workout, I have had a confidence boost. And I can look back and go, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe that I was able to lift that weight, or I can't believe that I was able to finish that workout. So that confidence has bled over into other areas of my life. It's just kind of helped me remember that I can do hard things. Something else that I have gained over a year of CrossFit is I'm significantly stronger than I used to be. Like I said, when I first started, there was a lot of the workout that I could just lift the bar, and the bar for a female weighs 35 pounds. And so there are things now that I'm lifting 55 pounds, 65 pounds. You can see on this little graph right here that I went from doing a back squat with 55 pounds on it to being able to do a 1 rep max back squat of 150 pounds. So that's pretty crazy. Like, I just have gotten significantly stronger. I can tell when I lift stuff and move stuff and pick stuff up, I just feel a lot more confident about my strength level. I get asked a lot if I've lost any weight, and I myself actually have not. I didn't have a ton of weight to lose. I have probably maybe around 10 pounds that I could lose if I really wanted to. Like, it stayed on. So, but what I think could probably happen is that I've actually gained some muscle, and because muscle is heavier than fat, I do think that I've trimmed down a little bit of body fat and have put on some muscle, and that's why my weight has probably stayed about where it is. Because I can just tell looking at myself, my shoulders are broader, my shirts fit differently. I have some shorts that have gotten kind of tight around my thighs because my thighs are getting bigger, which maybe you don't want your thighs to get bigger, but I can see the strength on my body now after a year. Now, I still got a long ways to go, and I don't look like super buff or anything, but I'm definitely stronger than I used to be. My husband has lost weight. He's lost about 20 pounds. And it came off pretty quickly, and he's really, really trimmed down. So, you know, that's the benefit of being a man in your 40s versus a woman in your 40s. And, you know, I'm fighting that 40-year-old metabolism and hormones also. But it's definitely made a difference in how strong I am. So another thing that it's done for me is, remember I was telling you guys about this neck surgery that I had. Since I had that surgery, I've lived with just stiffness and soreness in my neck. I can tell you that probably about 5 months into CrossFit, for the first time since I had that injury, I stopped thinking about it. Like, that stiffness and that soreness, it went away. You know, it would pop up maybe once every 6 to 8 weeks. Like, I'd have to take some ibuprofen after a long day. I was taking ibuprofen after a long day 3 to 4 days a week because I was dealing with that stiffness. I was worried that the CrossFit exercises would actually make my injury worse, but they've actually made it a lot better because it's built up all of the muscles around here, which I think was causing, you know, some of the issues that I've had. So, you know, I'm not a doctor. I can't tell you if you've got an injury that you're dealing with. I can't tell you what you need to do with it. I'm just, again, sharing my experience that it actually alleviated a lot of pain. For that reason alone, like, I am determined to continue. That's shown me that this exercising actually has a way of really kind of healing my body. When you get to be middle age, in the age that I am, that exercise is a preventative thing, like, really. Yes, you have to be careful that you don't injure yourself, but if you can keep your body strong and healthy, then when you do find yourself in a situation where you know, slip and fall, or where you're in some sort of you know, accident or something else happens, like, I do think your body, if it's stronger overall, then it's going to be able to recover from that trauma a little bit quicker. All right, so the last thing that I have really gained from this year of CrossFit is I've gained a couple new friends. I've gained some new relationships, and so has my husband. So there's like 6 or 7 class times that you can go, but we've kind of picked typically this one class at 11:30, and we go 3 to 4 days a week, and it's usually all the same people there. And you just build this camaraderie. Like, when you're sweating and getting dirty and you're kind of going through this tough, you know, experience with people day in and day out, you get to know them. So we've made some couple friends. I've made a girlfriend. I'm actually heading to a book club with a friend that I made at CrossFit later on. And you guys know that as you get older, like, it can be hard to go out and make friends. And, you know, you would think that, like, oh, well, everybody that does CrossFit is just going to be super crazy exercise, you know, that's all they ever do. But that's not been my experience. Like, again, I'm completely normal. I'm not all geared out. It's not like what I do for fun. You know, I go to stay healthy. And I've met plenty of other people that are just normal people there too, that have other hobbies and other interests. Of course, you do have your gym rats that are there. You have your people that's all they want to talk about is CrossFit, and that's great. And they kind of hang out together. And then you've got your other folks that are just there to stay healthy and have fun. So it's been a great way to just build some more relationships in our community. All right, so a couple takeaways for you guys as we wrap this up is just one, I hope that I've given you a little bit of an idea of what it's like to walk into a CrossFit gym as a woman in her 40s. If you've got questions, if there's stuff that I didn't talk about that you want to know, then please ask in the comments. I'm happy to come back and answer. I would encourage you, if it's something that you want to try, to commit to 2 to 3 months of it and give it a try. Find a buddy, go with your spouse, find a friend. It is challenging to just completely on your own start. You can feel a little bit lost. I definitely feel a little bit lost at the beginning. I didn't know what I was doing. So if you can have a buddy, or you can go with your spouse, but give it 2 to 3 months. It's gonna take a little bit of time before you feel comfortable there, before you feel like you know what's going on, okay? And then, you know, it's not just for the young people. Like, it's really not. There are people that I work out with that are older than me. There are people that have started that are in their mid-60s since my husband and I have started. So yeah, you got your 20-somethings and your 30-somethings that everything seems to come easy for them. But then you've got people that are in their 40s and 50s and 60s. And again, all of the exercises that you're doing can be adjusted to fit your range of motion, what you're capable of, and the amount of weight that you're capable of lifting. They call that scaling in the CrossFit world. You can scale pretty much everything that you're doing. So don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of giving it a try. It's really not anything that I ever thought I would do. I wouldn't like look at that and go, oh yeah, that's really right up my alley. But I can tell you that after a year of it, like, I'm probably kind of ruined for other exercise classes. What you are pushed to do is so crazy. And you're pushed to exercise harder than you've ever exercised, harder than I'm ever gonna exercise on my own if I just decide to go do it myself. I'm never gonna push myself that far. I'm shocked at what I can do and what I can accomplish. And so that's what I mean when maybe I'm kind of ruined from other exercise. I'm looking at other things and I'm like, I don't really know that's enough. Like, I need to do more, because I've been able to see what my body is actually capable of. And like, all right, so I really appreciate you guys joining me today. I hope that some of what I've been able to share has been helpful for somebody watching. If you've got more questions, ask in the comments. I'm happy to share more about my experience. If there's something that I missed, then let me know. Again, like, this is not a technical how to do CrossFit video. I'm not an exercising expert. There's a million of those videos out there. What I wanted to give you guys is like, hey, as a normal person, like, can a normal person do this? And I'm here to say, yes, it's hard and it takes some persistence, but yes, a normal person can do it. And a normal older person like me, a normal 40-year-old woman can do it. And if I can do it, I really think you can do it too. So y'all are great. Thanks so much. Have a good day.